Hello everybody again on Simplyfoodea YouTube channel. Today we'll continue what are the process risk assessment and how we can draw it on our HACCP plan. So the first cell will be the process name, the potential hazard, the risk assessment, okay, the outcome and significant risk. Make it bold, it will be better. The explanation and the reason, the control measure. I'm just making an examples, okay? In our HACCP plan, it is just an example and just making like brainstorming, okay? Just make all the cells merge, Control S. Now we'll continue. And remember that each, or this, the flow diagram, each process here must be mentioned in the process risk assessment. As we have mentioned all the raw material risk assessment, either the orange fruit, the water, the air, okay, and also the packaging material. We must also take care of the process. So each process must be mentioned in the process risk assessment, okay? So the first process, or we can mention here also, we can write here the number of process, merge, number of process, because your HACCP or your flow diagram containing numbers. As you can see here, it starts from 1 to 16. To ensure that you have mentioned all the flow diagram processes, so it's better to enumerate your process steps and finally ensure that you have done risk assessment to each process of it. So we will start with number 1 process, the process name here, okay, the receiving of raw material, call this text as wrap and metal, okay, receiving of a risk assessment. Each process you must make it by this way and mention and make merge here and also merge here, and you must mention the separately different hazard for each one, the physical hazard, the chemical hazard, and the biological hazard. So this must be the shape of each process in our process risk assessment for the HACCP plan, okay? As you can remember, our main process risk assessment decision tree, that either if it is low risk, so it's moderate, it's PRP, or moderate risk, also PRP, high risk, so we'll go to the decision tree. So in our example here, just make this calculation that it is multiply this, shift 8 and this, and enter. So it will be the total, okay, Control S. For example, according to the has obtained that severity of the physical hazard in the raw material will be 4 and the probability will be 1, so the result will be 4, which is not significant risk. Can also make this bigger to be shown better through this. Okay, the explanation why it is severity 4 or probability 1, because maybe due to unclean orange fruit from farm during harvesting. Okay, the control mechanism, it will be the approved supplier. Okay, and visual inspection. Okay, it's very important to write sentences here to read each point on your. Okay, so there will be no, there will be no any. Okay, no problem. It will be okay. No any decision trees, and it is RP. Okay, because the receiving of the raw materials are PRPs. So the second thing in the chemical hazard, for example, it will be severity. You have done moderate risk, high risk, and medium risk. Okay. For example, this is 3 multiplied by 2. The result will be 6, so it's not significant risk, because we have mentioned that if it is low risk or moderate risk, it's not significant risk. When it is significant risk, when it is the multiplication result between severity and probability is 12 to 25. So here will be the explanation why it is severity 3 and probability 2, maybe due to residuals of pesticides in farm. Okay, spelling yes of pesticides is not correct. Thanks. Okay, also here it will be from the approved supplier, but not visual inspection, because chemical hazard is not can be detected or hard to be detected visually. So the certificate of analysis are our control, and also this part are PRP. So each one we must mention that it is very important, and the biological hazard, which is either vegetative pathogen or sporulated pathogen. The severity is, for example, 5, the probability is 1, so it is 5. It is not significant risk, also due to also maybe due to contamination of orange. Contamination of orange, okay, or improper storing temperature. There's a small hint here is very important in the raw material, in the hazard analysis of the raw material. When we mention here in the orange fruit that it is ambient temperature, ambient temperature or refrigerated, we must mention exactly the temperature. For example, 8, for example, ambient temperature, so it is 25 plus or minus 5. Okay, in case of ambient. And for example, from 8 to 10 Releases. This is all are examples in case of refrigerated. This is not a scientific reference. It's just an example. Or our HACCP plan and Simplyfoodea YouTube channel are just our examples, and just making some kind of brainstorming how you can create an HACCP plan. So let's go back to our risk assessment for the process. Approved supplier also, and the certificate of analysis are important, and the PRPs, very important. Stay with us on Simplyfoodea YouTube channel, and we'll continue the rest of our risk assessment for the processes. Best of luck of all of you, and goodbye.